Nuestra esperanza y castillo es nuestro Dios.
Nuestro refugio es hermoso.
Paraguay has a society that is constantly changing. These changes continue to have a big impact in the hearts of the people. Paraguay is a country that is located in the heart of South America. Being nearly 160,000 square miles in size, it gives shelter to 6,500,000 souls. It has the youngest population in all of South America. Approximately 41% of the population is under the age of 14. The eyes of God are directed in Paraguay at this point in time. In 2005, a team of Americans from E3 Partners Ministry, led by Scott Cavando, a civil engineer, visited Tobati, a town located 40 miles northeast of the capital city of Asunción. The name of the town, Tobati, in Guarani, the official language of Paraguay, means white face. Having a population of 30,000, Tobati is named the Town of Love by its people. The road that leads to Tobati is a winding road with beautiful scenic views of Rocky Mountain terrain. The roadside is tucked beside the Rocky Mountain hillsides with sweeping views of the adjacent valleys and grassy meadows. Sweet-smelling breezes bring to life the silhouettes of the shapes of the mountains' views of the flowering vegetation for the first-time visitor. This area of the country is charming and beautiful, but it needs the love of God. When Scott returned to Paraguay in 2007 to begin a church in Areguá, Wilfrido came to visit him and to share a piece of paper with sketches of a shelter and new ideas of what could be done on this land.
3 years ago, I had the great privilege of working in a town called Tobati, Paraguay. And I worked with a man named Wilfredo Talavera in planting a new church. And at that time, Wilfredo told me, I have a dream of having an albergue in this location in Tobati for the community of Tobati.
Scott looked at the sketches and saw several engineering problems with the layout and proposed design. At that time, Scott asked Pastor Alcides Gonzalez to find a professional Paraguayan designer that could help Wilfredo develop the project. When they shared with me about Su Refugio, I decided to be, from the beginning, to be part of it. I am a construction contractor and I run my own company. My entire team is involved helping in the designing and construction of this project. I'm in charge of the PR department in this project. I would like to be able to share about Su Refugio, visiting churches. We believe that this is God's project. We dream with this. And we know that it will be a beautiful reality.
In August of last year, I was on a plane from Fort Lauderdale, Florida to San Diego, California, and God spoke to me in a mighty way. And He said, Scott, I want you to facilitate this project. I want you to take this dream and create it into my vision.
It was to be the plan of God, and it was to be named Su Refugio, based on Psalms 91, verse 1, that says, He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Wilfredo was excited to see how God had increased his small dream into a much bigger project. This project was to reach out to the entire community of Tobati. Scott contacted a missionary from Mexico, Paco Damian, who had given up his professional career in architecture to become a pastor in Querétaro, Mexico, Scott asked Paco if he would design the project and transform God's vision into an architectural design unique to Paraguay. In October 2007, Paco came to Tobati. When I met with Scott Cavando for the first time to discuss about the Su Refugio project, I trembled. Because in other words, what Scott was asking me to do was that I convey through architectural work the idea, the notion, the concept of the glory of God. What we really want to achieve is, through this project, is that people can see this place. When they visit here, they can feel that they are in the presence of God. Today, I feel really privileged and blessed because I was part of this project. This project has taken dimensions, bigger dimensions than expected. There's nothing impossible for God. Paco, along with Pastor Alcides, Luciades, and Wilfrido, viewed the property together. They visited the site right after a recent rainstorm and found that the site was flooded. Wilfrido said there was a property 1 kilometer from town that was for sale. When they went to see this new property, they were immediately awestruck by the beauty. The site was strategically located, being on the main road into town, and would be visible to all coming and going from Tobati. I want to invite you to imagine a sports and recreation center, and children, teenagers, young people that may never be able to attend church, but will be glad to come and play sports in our recreation center. This is a project that really encourages me. I'm very, very excited about it because of the impact that we can make in their lives. We want to see people joining us. We want to see them playing sports. We want to make contact, close contact with the people. We want to show the glory of God through this place. Above all, I want you to be able to envision a church that will be planted in this place. We will want to take the opportunity and use the shelter and the clinic and the school ministries to reach out people that will come and use our services. We want to see a church that will grow strong, and we want to see new churches planted in the community of Tobati and other areas in the state of La Cordillera. We want Su Refugio to be a place where the glory of God will be reflected, a place where people will come in and see the glory of God, the glory of God being reflected. We want to make God known through this place. They immediately began to pray for God's will and His provision for acquiring the site. God was faithful, and in January 2008, the new property was purchased. God provided a piece of land that was much larger than the original property, and the cost of the new property was much less than the cost that would have been required to raise the ground above the flood level of the original property. The initial project was to build a church, a shelter for homeless children, a cafeteria for feeding children on the street, and a medical clinic. Shortly thereafter, God placed in our hearts a need to include a K-12 Christian school to the project. The beginning of the construction was delayed until God provided an adjacent property that would be sufficient to build the school. The main objective of Su Refugio is to reach the children and future generations of Tobati for Christ, giving them not only an education and providing for their physical needs, but most importantly, providing for their spiritual needs. The first phase of the project will be the construction of the church, which also serves as a multi-purpose gymnasium and is the most important part of the project. This first phase will also include the K through 6th grades of the school with a soccer field. This school will be an extension of the Heaven's Kingdom Christian School, which is part of the Iglesia Cristiana Evangélica de Florida, of which Alcides is the pastor. The second phase of the project will be the shelter for 20 children with areas for dormitories, comedor, small vegetable farm, game room, small library, and caretakers housing. Also included in the second phase is the addition of grades 7 through 12 of the school. The final phase of the project will be a medical clinic with 4 consultation rooms and 1 room for the psychological and spiritual counseling.
Su Refugio is not a plan of man. It's a vision from God. And you each have a unique opportunity to change not only a child's life, but you have an opportunity to change a community, even change a country. This could be a start of Su Refugios all over South America. So I want to encourage each and every one of you and challenge you to see if you have a part in this project. Thank you for your time.
Castillo es nuestro Dios.
Nuestro refugio es hermoso. Spinning in the sky, where once the stars were only tiny points of light. Now the moon looks like it's heaven's shining pearl. Now those stars, they look like windows into another world. Look what love has done to me. Look what love has done. There's poetry in all I see. Look what love has done. And my heart is dancing through each day. My soul is running free. Look what love has done to me. Where once each breath was just a sign of aching emptiness. Where once I hardly felt the beating in my chest.